Alright, hello and welcome to an SFO comparison for Teclis. As you can see, it's a joyous moment. We have destroyed the Oracles of Tzeentch. Teclis has an absolutely appallingly nasty, horrible campaign. We'll get to that a little bit more later on, but let's go ahead and take a look at the comparisons for Teclis between SFO and Standard. We're going to start here by taking a look at the Lord and faction effects. This is on the left here. This is vanilla. And on the right here we have the faction effects in SFO. So you can see diplomatic relations here. That's upped to 25 over here. Allied recruitment is the same in both. Recruit rank for Loremasters, mages, and archmages. That's outstanding. That means that every mage and archmage you get can get right to the good spells. You can get to Burning Head. You can get to Life Bloom. You can get everything that you have to wait 2, 3, 4 levels to get to with every other faction. Recruitment cost for Swordmasters and Phoenix. I don't know that I've ever used a Swordmaster or a Phoenix. You got the Fireball, that's the same. Fireball is great at the beginning, perhaps to help take out some units or taunt them. Really kind of weak later on. And then Winds of Magic, 10 for his army, 25 for his army, that's wonderful. A lot of spells in SFO are much more expensive. There's been a very conscious effort to make Teclis not care about that and to provide him with the magical capabilities he needs. So what do we have that's new? Scholarly Tome, so that's a currency that's specific to Teclis. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Perfect Vigor for Loremasters of Hoeth, that's fantastic because you get Obarman at the beginning of this. No recruitment for the Lothern Skycutter. That's a very, very high upper tier unit, which we're not going to run into. And then we've got Ward Save and Recruitment cost here for Teclis himself. So that's a run through of the abilities. The most important one, probably the tomes, which we're going to see momentarily. Okay, so what do we want to start with? Let's take a look. Let's go ahead and take a look at Teclis' skill tree. If we open Teclis up, Teclis' skill tree has had some changes. It's also had a number of things added to it. Just take a look at my notes here. So Sublime Focus has been buffed a little bit. It was minus 20% miscast chance, now it's minus 30. Teclis is one of the few spellcasters who's unlikely to miscast at any time. See Flock of Doom here. The basic Flock of Doom spell has a 25% miscast chance, you can see there. With Sublime Focus, Teclis is going to wipe that out. He gets Speed and Winds of Magic. He gets Magical Reserves. This is a change. Instead of just a 5 capacity, it's 1 per turn. So over 10 turns, his capacity reserve has gone up 10. And of course, once you get this, it goes up 1 every turn as you just play the game. Greater Arcane Conduit is not changed. Glamour of Hoeth. This has been changed slightly from plus 10 with a 10% physical. This is, I think this is actually pretty much the same. These 3 abilities here are all new. Cooldown reduction, which is lovely. Winds of Magic Power Reserve every turn, plus 2, plus 10 capacity. And another miscast reduction that allows even Teclis to cast overcast spells and not have to worry about it. And then the need for power, another reduction in spell cost. He also can get Manifold Sorcery still, which is 20% reduction on all spells, which you kind of need. The base cost for Flock of Doom in the vanilla version, let me see what we've got here, is 10, and then 15 for the overcast. For Teclis in SFO, that's going to be 15 base cost for Flock of Doom. You can see that our Flock of Doom here is currently down to 8, and then once we get this, it'll go down to 6. So with the massive amount of mana he can generate and these reduced costs, they're basically making him exactly what he's supposed to be, which is the greatest mage, at least of the elves. He does have some good damage spells. He's got the Chain Lightning. He gets the Flames of the Phoenix, which is Fiery Convocation. Fiery Convocation, far more powerful in SFO than it is in vanilla, because it comes into effect much quicker. There isn't that ridiculously long pause between the start of the spell and then the appearance of the Phoenix and then the blazing trail of the spell. It happens very quickly. You can see that he gets 4 of those bound to him. He gets all of the special magic adjustment abilities that all the other houses get. So extra flame damage, extra damage for his own units. Life Bloom, which is going to heal his units. He doesn't even have to be a life mage to do that. Increased power generation, increased reserve generation. He can get all of those on his way to Manifold Sorcery. Okay, so he's got a good addition to that. Let's take a peek now at the... what do we want to look at? Yeah, over here in his abilities, he has Spell Mastery, so all of his spells are double the normal strength. And then he's got these 2 things here. He starts with Arcane Mastery, so that's a 25% reduction in miscast chance. Add that to Sublime Focus, that's 55%. Now, when you're fighting Tzeentch, that's important because Kairos, for example, can increase your likelihood of miscasting. So it's like he's designed, never to have any trouble with casting spells. And then all the mages, archmages, and Teclis have this one here. Increase in power recharge, so you get access to your reserve quicker, and then the reserves themselves grow. Let's take a peek now at the tomes mechanic. So tomes are a specific currency to Teclis. You can get 1 every turn for a Loremaster of Hoeth. You can get 2 every turn for having Teclis. If you take a look at Teclis himself, does he have an ability to increase his tomes? I'm not sure if he does in here. I know that Barman does. Maybe I need to get that off. Here it is. He gets rare tomes. Research rate and corruption. Each Loremaster is going to be able to add 1 tome per turn. Okay, so there's additionally they can be spent in the tech tree. So this is all the high elves get this one. You can see now I have enough tomes to enact any of these. Tomes are also used in dilemmas for influence and other effects. Some of these, like anytime there's something in the tech tree, some are better than others. For example, this one here, Blood of Ghyran for Teclis and Life Archmages. So that's a regeneration in an area for up to 14% of a unit's original health. Then that unlocks these growth and casualty replenishment for armies in owned territory. The second one of any of these unlocks always has that ability, minus 5% for all spellcasters upkeep. There are 9 of these, so that's going to pretty much half the cost of your spellcasters. This one here, Blazing Sword of Ruin for Teclis and Fire Mages, that's the one that increases your ranged ability, I believe. Base missile damage and weapon damage. This one here, Curse of Rust, so that's going to be an armor reduction. This one here, Time Warp, Group Barona's Time Warp. So these are all, this is like a Wind Blast. Okay, Fate of Buna. These are all very similar to the houses. And then there are deeper dives into those skills here. Teclis, if you look at him, he's got this set of abilities here that shows you what they are and how many uses you have. And when you're in a combat, they'll also show up here as abilities. If you look at these other mages, she only has this one now, the Blood of Ghyran. And then this mage here, she has this one, Curse of Rust. So those are added on as you go along. The mages themselves, they also have the same greater magic bond that Teclis has. So what they've done is they've really worked to make Teclis the archmage that he's supposed to be. They provide him with increased magic gain per turn. They increase his magic in battle, the growth of it, the capacity for it. All of his main units are also able to do that. He also has the ability to increase the rank of his mages beyond what they normally are. For example, here we can see they're recruited at level 8, which means if you go ahead and recruit one, let's say we recruited this one here, having 8, right, allows you to go right into Aranans, right into Windblast, Potential Energy, and then Cobbet of Cassandora right out of the box. And so that's something that Teclis can do that nobody else can do. I mean, 8 levels of mage right at the start. Who wouldn't want that? There aren't really, aren't really any changes to the actual recruit traits themselves, but there are changes in what they do. So there's usually 3, maybe 4 abilities in each of these, and that's a high elf thing, not just a Teclis thing. So overall, what you're going to want to do with Teclis is you're going to want to give him some kind of defensive line. Here we've just got some basic infantry and these 2 guys for crowd control. Teclis is going to be on a horse, then he's going to be on his phoenix. He can fly around over the enemy, dropping whatever he wants on them. He himself is not the most dangerous offensively. You're definitely going to want to have some supplemental mages to do that. But for the most part, it is possible to do well in his campaign. He has a horrible campaign. You start off here, where you have to fight Sarthril the Watcher, who is also Siege. And within about 5 or 6 turns, Kairos will expand out of here, come down here, and then he will declare war on you. So what I did was I finished taking out this area here, then I took out the Zlatlan lizards. Tic-Tac-Toe didn't mind, the defenders, they didn't mind. And then once he declared war, I went across and prosecuted the war. Now the problem is, this is all chaotic wasteland, it's extraordinarily nasty terrain, so your best friend is going to be this fella right here, the Invocation of Isha. Make sure you have enough money for that one. It makes you immune to attrition for 10 turns, as you can see. Ran out, it's still going. I got 3 or 4 more turns of that going on. Here we go. It allows you to treat this territory as if it's just a bad place to be. Low replenishment rate, sure, but SFO has the tools to deal with that because there's a commandment here for corruption reduction, and then this one here for control, and then you're just going to put one of these fellas in pretty much every region to get that control back. So it is doable. You do have the tools. It is aggravating to have to fight Siege, but now that they can't change the ways on you quite as often as they used to be able to, it's certainly doable. What we're going to do is we're going to knock this guy out of the war, and then we're going to come up here, and the plan will be to invade Tic-Tac-Toe. We finally do have contact with Oxyotl, so if we need to, we'll generate resources by trading him all of this so that he can fight this guy and we don't have to. I'll probably post some gameplay. Posted a short video showing him in battle, but that's a little overview of what Teclis can do. He does have the skills. He is the preeminent mage. I'd say that now there's only what is the guy? Gelt is now the only one who could possibly challenge Teclis for magic abilities. But I've never played Malekith, and he's supposed to be pretty good. Alright, thank you for watching.